Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Power Rangers, specifically the elevated content. So, this video has spoilers, significant spoilers. Okay. All right. So, yesterday I gave, a 4 out of 5 star review for Power Rangers, and I said that what was special about this is that they elevated the content, but they did not, they elevated the content, and at the same time they respected the content. It's not uncommon for Hollywood to say, we're going to elevate this content. In fact, almost all Hollywood movies do that. But the part that was different was they respected the content. So that's really different. I feel like a lot of times when Hollywood comes, especially it's something that's going to be a reboot or relaunch, they're coming at it like, oh, we got to fix everything because this is all just nonsense junk. And that's just not the case. Like Power Rangers, Star Trek, a lot of these reboots, these are classics, right? And there's Transformers. There's really good content here, and it needs to be respected. Okay, so they really did that in the Power Rangers movie. And so I'm watching this movie, and there's one point where I was like, whoa, this is a really, really special film that is not just a good Power Rangers movie. This is a template for how you properly reboot a series, okay? So what was that moment? That moment was when Zordon chooses to not come out of the wall, okay? Now, I remember, seeing a few episodes of Power Rangers, and it just wasn't, it wasn't my show. I saw a few episodes, and I remember seeing Zordon and the robot, right? And so Zordon's this big floating head, and all the Power Rangers are circled around him, and and they're talking to him. Oh wait, Epiphany. All right, so I remember when I was a kid, the Power Rangers were surrounding Zordon. So Zordon was a big head, a big disembodied energy head, and all the Power Rangers were surrounding him. But in the movie, it was the exact opposite. Zordon surrounded the Power Rangers. That's really interesting. I wonder if there's a meaning to that. I'm gonna have to give that some thought. Sorry, everybody. Okay. All right. So Zordon, so in the show, disembodied head, and I remember thinking, this is weird. Like, why is that just disembodied head giving them instructions? It's strange. Like, why is it like that? And I don't think they ever explained it in the show, right? And it just wasn't, it wasn't like, it was really weird part of the show, and they never explained it. So in the movie, they gave this amazing explanation of it. So the robot says, hey, the robot has a private conversation with Zordon, and he's like, hey, you used to be the Red Ranger, you were the leader of this team. I shut the entire project down, and I saved us in this ship so that millions of later we could come back and we could save the universe together. But right now, based on how I was able to save everybody, you're trapped in the wall. Like, you are a disembodied entity that is trapped in this ship, and that's why you're manifesting your face on the wall, right? So, they did it much more elegantly and gracefully in the film, right? And so at that point, they're talking, and then Zordon says, yeah, I'm trapped in here, but when we get the morphing grid going, I'm going to have, we'll have enough energy, we can bring myself out of the wall, okay? So, this was awesome. Like, before you just had this, in the show, you just have this weird floating head that they talk to for no reason. It's never explained. Here, you have a character who's trapped. So he's like this overseeing master to the team, but the reality is he's trapped and he wants to come out, right? There's a lot of pathos. It really put some serious meaning behind Zordon. What was ridiculous is now deep and profound, right? And I was incredibly impressed with this, right? So then in the film, Billy, the Blue Ranger, dies. Like, he is dead, right? The morphing grid comes online based on different things that happen, And now Zordon has the energy to come out of the wall, and he's not trapped. And the robot says, "That's it, Zordon. Come on out of the wall, man. You're going to be the leader of this team, and you'll form the team together." And Zordon's like, "No, I'm going to use this energy to resurrect Billy, and my chance to come out of the wall is completely gone. It's lost forever." And so it's a moment of sacrifice. It's a moment where where Zordon's saying there's never going to be a leader of this team except the current Red Ranger. And Zordon saying, "I will be trapped in here forever, but I will serve this team. And I will be it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, its mentor, not the leader, the mentor," right? And it was brilliant. It was an absolutely brilliant way to handle this really strange, silly thing from the show. Became very profound in the movie. Now I'm guessing that people got. So one of the things that's really cool was when we went to the movie, we went to a matinee. So one, I think you need to choose when you go to movies and what you're expecting as far as the crowd. So we went to a matinee. We paid $4 a ticket. We went at 10:30 in the morning. Actually 11:15 in the morning, and we just had a really great time. And there was a person there who was sitting like 4 or 5 rows behind us, and they were a major Power Rangers fan, and they were going, oh my gosh, they're gonna bring forward the purple, they're gonna bring forward the pink Zord. There's the pink Zord, and this person, like, you could tell, like, this was like a spiritual event for them. Like, they were just so in love with Power Rangers. And I got hyped just seeing how hyped that person was, and how, like, they were a true epic fan of the show, and they were just totally on board, and so I was really excited. And so, I know a lot of people complain about people talking in movies, and I do agree that there should be silence in movies, but I think, like, if you go for a matinee on a Saturday morning, that's a great time to talk, right? And, like, have kind of and even that, like, Power Rangers is a kind of movie where you can talk at the screen, in my opinion, right? I don't personally do that, but I don't mind it in certain circumstances. And so I think, just a kind of a nuanced view. But I'm guessing that the Zordon head that all the Power Rangers surrounded in the show, like, somebody who was really into Power Rangers, they probably saw even then that there was more to this content than what most people were seeing. And so I was really, really impressed with just how deep this story element was. I'm blessed to tell stories online through tabletop role-playing games, and man, I'll tell you, I was jealous of that moment. Just the pathos that they put into that character, the way they made you empathize with him, the way they showed sacrifice, the way in one moment there was a loss, there was a cementing of a leader, there was the cementing of a mentor. Like, there was just so much done in that one moment in a Power Rangers movie. This was in a Power Rangers movie. Like, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. I really loved it. And then earlier in the film, they had done a similar moment where, like, when the Power Rangers are fighting and they die, and they all die, like, where Bryan Cranston is like the Black Power Ranger. No, I'm sorry, he was the Red Power Ranger. And he dies, and then the robot seals them all in the ship and puts them away for 65 million years. Then when the Zords come out for the first time, and they're like, oh, this is a Zord that looks like an Ankylosaurus. The robot said, oh, well, when back in the day when we all died and we were fighting on Earth, that was 65 million years ago, the Zords look like dinosaurs because that's what was on the Earth at the time, right? And it was just like, took 60 seconds to say, right? But it was just so well handled and put meaning behind this silly thing in Power Rangers. This is how you relaunch a franchise. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loved it. I really, really dug this aspect of Power Rangers. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Awesome movie. Take care, everybody.